And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
What's wrong with the world, mama? People living like they ain't got no mamas. I think the whole world's addicted to the drama, only attracted to things that'll bring the trauma. Overseas.
Yeah, we gotta get over all this drama. You know, we are our own solution. And I wanted to show you that. Let me finish the popsicle stick story. I keep promising I'll get to it. And I want to show you this one film. It's called Toward Liberty, about Carl Hess. And I'll explain that to you in just a little bit. Let me finish the popsicle stick story. With this in mind, from the book The Island by Peter Benchley, and the pirates, we kill everybody that is too worldly, whatever that means, and kind of set in their ways. They're not going to be able to indoctrinate you, once you start going through puberty, because the hormones kind of lock you into what you are. Whatever you were at 13, 14, your personality, you may have roughed over the edges or whatever. If you didn't get brought up right by a grandma or mom, dad, whatever, it's too late. That's one thing that I learned from this when I raised my kids. I go, look, man, all the spankings, all the discipline, it's heavily weighted towards young. By the time they get through puberty, heck, man, your boys get bigger and you kick your butt. So you might as well have already done your job and have a different kind of relationship with them, or they'll just beat you up. I mean, my boy's big. So one time I have 4 children, 21 to 25 right now. And so they're tight together. And my oldest, Rhea, she was, 11, 12, just, starting, you could tell. I mean, the hormones, I don't know if she started budding yet, but she was definitely, not respecting authority. So we got into a discussion of why I'm so strict on her and, and you're a bad, evil dad and all that kind of stuff. So I brought all the kids together and I sat down and I go, okay. And I said, I used to do a lot of models and so on. So me and the boys, we do different models, build airplanes, that kind of thing. And I go get me a paper plate, a popsicle stick, and the 5-minute epoxy. So they bring it. They know where it is and so on. They get it there. And I started mixing the epoxy with the catalyst, popsicle stick. You got about 5 minutes, okay? So whatever you're going to do, you better do it in 5 minutes. So I explained to him, and I told him the story about the book, The Island, and how the pirates did, and why would they do that? Because once you hit puberty, you're pretty locked in. And I'm going, if you're leaning a little bit to the left, and I let the popsicle stick and the thick epoxy start to fall over, and I go, if you're over here and it starts to harden, then you get locked at this, cattywampus kind of different angle, messed up. I need to get you straight up. So that's what I'm doing. You're going over, well, Dad, I got my finger on top of that popsicle stick constantly until you get through puberty. And I go, my goal is to keep that popsicle stick as straight as possible so that once you get locked in, I don't have to worry about you. Because you think I'm going to, teach you something at 16? Heck no. You know everything at 16, So I'm explaining this to him and talking to him, giving examples and all that kind of stuff, and I can start to feel it starting to harden. So, and when it starts to go, it goes pretty fast. I mean, within 20 seconds, man, it's hard. So I'm stirring it, and I go, you're leaning over this way and that way, and giving examples of each kid, like when you did this, you did that. What if I let that go? And what would happen if, it's 10 years from now and you got away with, blah, 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 blah. And I go, so my thing is to make sure that when you lock in, your brain chemistry hits, you are straight up. Boom. And then I took my hand off of it or grabbed the stick and held the plate upside down, go, see, that's my goal. That stuck with them. And they understood, whether they agreed with it or not, at least they understood what was going through my mind. Why I was strict on them, why I had certain standards and certain things, why it was for their benefit, not mine. Well, yeah, it's for mine because I didn't want to have pain in the butt kids, for the rest of my life. That would suck. And, and plus it helps with grandkids. So now how are they raising their kids? This is something that I understand from the beginning. If you can lock in, and it's never too early. When I found out that 33% of Egyptian youth, population was under 14 and under, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Average age 24? Wow. It's all over. Will it be this year? Will it be next? Will it be 10 years from now? I don't know. It's probably going to be in the future. But you're never going to have a greater impact than right now, infecting them with the idea that they own themselves. How can you expose a 15-year-old to that? What do you think he's going to do? Forget it? Oh, never mind. I don't believe it anymore. You know, oh, I'm sorry, I offer myself up to you. Well, there are some that'll do that. Make no doubt, there are some that'll do that. But what percentage does it take? We have an American Revolution successful with how many people in the field? 3%? You know, why would there be any doubt in my mind? There's too many examples that I have witnessed and been part of for 22 years. So when it comes time in the 2012 election cycle, do you think that Dr. Paul and his message and the libertarian message and the self-ownership message is going to be have more credibility as it's starting to be exposed overseas? Are we going to lag behind? Are we going to be the ones that are learning from? I'm good. I don't care. I don't learn from anybody. You know, we're learning from these people going in the streets and doing this. How much is this amped up? I think what has happened is that it may be a little bit more than the big bad guys anticipated. You know, they need a little revolutionary going on, you know, where kind of confusion of gunfire went to and from whomever, and all of a sudden a little coup happened here, and a little, you know, your resignation or your brains will be on this piece of paper kind of thing. You know, of course this stuff goes on. Duh. And it's under the cover of chaos. Well, is it organized chaos? And what will come out of it? It's an opportunity for humanity to march on. It's an opportunity for new alliances to be made. Based around what? American flag? McDonald's in Cairo? I mean, what? I mean, what are we really looking for here? So I'm really keen on this self-ownership thing. But it has, you know, it hadn't started with me. Or, heck, it's been going on since human history. There was a movie, I want to bring this up. I'll certainly get a little bit and get it started and have a portion that I want to get to when we come back from the break. Now, what it is it was a movie that won the short documentary in 1980. 1980, it had the Oscar for a short documentary. It was 26 minutes. And it was called Toward Liberty, about Karl Hess. Karl Hess was a speechwriter for Goldwater, Barry Goldwater, in 1964 presidential campaign. He was also one of the founding figureheads and big in the creation and sustainability and legitimacy and continuation of the Libertarian Party in the 70s. He became a well-known anarchist. He sent, the IRS back, the Fourth Amendment, and said, hey, bite me, I'm not playing your game anymore, and, the heck with y'all. Oh, they did a Jim Trafficant on him, man. Or Trafficant got a Karl Hess done to him because they went after him. They garnished every dime he was ever going to make for the rest of his life. So here's an intellectual that learned how to weld. He built his own house. He got, sustainable living in a snow part, where it snowed in the winter, part of America, to where he was able to sustain himself off grid and be able to make money and barter and so on. And he did that through welding. This was a very interesting transformation from a Republican to libertarian and eventually an anarchist. And the guys that did the film, they were more of this social justice left kind of anarchy thing, and they didn't really understand what they were getting into and the impact that this would have. I even became aware of this film from the editorial page editor of the Arizona Republic. When I was running against McCain in 2004, he goes, hey, Ernie, man, I remember this in college. Put it out and see if you can find it. Karl Hess's son sent me a VHS, Super VHS copy of it, which we digitized. And this is what it came up because there's a professor that wanted this in the Midwest. And I'm going to share some of it with you when we come back. You'll understand why this is important. We'll be right back.